You gonna be able to be on camera?
Yeah.
You sound like you can hear yourself.
Yeah.
You're kind of far. Okay. All right. Shalom. Shalom. Now you stand behind me. Y'all. That don't make sense. Gotta be what's up. Shalom. Shalom. All right. We're gonna give all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ba'akodash. Double honors to the elders at Great Millstone, taught us this truth through the Spirit. Single honors to the elect. Peace and blessings be to all the sincere men, women, and children. You consider the 1/3, and also peace and blessings be to all the confusion of faces in the four corners of the earth. Shalom, shalom. All right. Today, we are known as the prophets. The prophets are not some men that are sitting up in the mountain, you know, with the smoke, and they're sitting in Indian style like shamans. All right. The prophets are the men that you will see out on the highways and byways. All right. The men that will be preaching this word. Okay. Matter of fact, can you get me I think it's Matthew 22 and 9. I think we say, go ye to the highways and byways and bid them to the marriage. Because that's what the apostleship is about. The apostleship is to go out and to warn the people and to also show them. That's what it is. So the apostleship are men that sent forth, you know, apostles sent forth to go and warn the people, to go and tell them the message, to go to tell them why these things are occurring and why they're happening. All right? And also to bid our people to the marriage before the evil comes. Shalom. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Hakadash Barakatah to you. All right? So can you read it for me, Brother Sean?
This is Matthew 22 and 9. Go ye therefore into the highways, as a many as you shall find, bid to the marriage.
Right, and bid them to the marriage, talking about Israelites. All right, because Yahweh Shai is the bride, he's the groom with the bridegroom. So our purpose of coming out is to do what? To warn our people and to bring them back to their power. Because the scripture says that your God is your husband. Yahweh is our husband, all right? So you go to Habakkuk 2 and 1.
Habakkuk 2 and 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. I will watch to see what he will say unto me.
Right, we will stand upon our watch and we will be set up upon the tower, because the Bible is a living organism. There are things that are occurring right now in the world, but the words of the Bible were written thousands of years ago when they're occurring now. That's what prophecy is about. Prophecy, pro means before, for say means to speak. So the events that are occurring throughout the world, they have already been spoken of. The famine, all right, the plagues. Okay, matter of fact, can you give me Jeremiah 28 and 8? These are the times that we're living in, and inside these churches, they're not telling the people about prophecy. They're not warning them. All right, the scripture said that they are dumb dogs. All right, what's the purpose of you having a dog if it's not going to bark to warn you there's an intruder or if it's alert? Okay, because dumb means to not speak. Stupid means someone who's lacking knowledge, who's ignorant. All right, go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms.
So the prophets before have prophesied against many countries and great kingdoms. He said before me. So that means that we're those prophets, because the scripture says the spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets, which is why I titled this, spiritual watchmen. Because everything that we're doing is according to the spirit, which is according to the word. All right, so the same spirit that we had back then, we have right now. So now we're able to understand these things. And speaking about kingdoms in different countries, like talking about Moab, which is China, and then when it speaks about the bear, and what is it, Jeremiah? Was Ezekiel? It's in Jeremiah. It speaks about the bear. I'm sorry, that's in Ezekiel. I apologize. 39 for 38 or 39. When it speaks about the Lord putting the hook back in the jaw, that's talking about Russia. Okay, Edom is the so-called white man, woman, and child. So when you put all of that together, you talk about those countries. There are things that are happening between Esau, Babylon, America, and Moab right now, especially going on with those cargo ships. Because the vast majority of the cargo ships come from where? China. I just did a video where China is the world's biggest exporter. Okay, and ever since the 1950s up until 2020, America has been the biggest importer. When it speaks about the merchant city in Babylon, it said that merchant city is talking about America. When you think about merchants, you think about stores that sell merchandise. So you can go in the Walmart. That's why I say America's one big Walmart. You can go inside of a Walmart and you will see items made from India, from China, from Japan, from Korea, fruits that's imported from Brazil, or from Cuba, or from some Central American country, right? So America is that merchant city. So speaking about kingdoms and countries, that's written there. Okay, go ahead, up.
Of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Of war and of evil and of pestilence. Ill times are coming pertaining to Daniel's 12 and 1. And the pestilence, we've already had the swine flu, the Spanish flu, they had polio. You know, even going back to the Middle Ages, you had the Black Plague. You know, the Lord will always send out a pestilence against the land. All right, that's what's occurring right now. That's the spirit. Because I was going to ask the brother to bring that out too. But finish that up, Papa Bishop.
Verse 9. Verse 9.
I'm sorry. Finish that up. I apologize.
Read it over. Just finish it. I just read it. That was the answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Next verse. I apologize.
Verse 9. This is Jeremiah 28 and 9. The prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him.
Right, and when it speaks about peace, it's talking about the gospel. All right, remember you had brought out Romans 10 and 11 earlier. We were talking about that. It's talking about the gospel. What does gospel stand for? Good news. That's where peace is going to come from. Because there's no peace here in America. Never has been for the so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans. All right, shalom, you running. How about Shemel Shai, about Shem Kadash, Barakatah to you. All right, there's no peace here for us. So where did our peace come from? This word. You know, like literally, when you think about it, the closer and closer we get to them really trying to clamp down on people and make them have to get that juice, or you know, the MOTB, the charagma, the more these scriptures really do become your comforter. You know, you're really gonna have to be comforted in these words. And that means that you're gonna have confidence in these words that these things are gonna happen. Matter of fact, that brother had to drop the precept. If I'm not mistaken, was that the one? Oh no, that was a good one though, but I thought that was Isaiah 66. Right? So we believe in these words. Oh, did you finish that up?
Yeah, that was the finish.
Okay, you go back to Habakkuk.
Habakkuk 2 and 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. I will watch to see what he will say unto me.
Right, and when he say we watch to see what he will say to me, that's why when you read it, it says, thus saith the Lord. Because the Lord put the spirit on them, and those men wrote down those words. So those words are bond. You know how people say my word is bond? The Lord said he's not a man that he will lie. So I was just going to say it like Jeremiah. So if Jeremiah wrote down something, if Isaiah wrote down something, Micah wrote down something, it wasn't a private interpretation. Like it said in Peter. There's no private interpretation of this word. That's why these words are true. That's why the scripture says, seek ye out the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. And none of these have fallen. All right? The only thing that's fallen is the chips for Babylon. You know, like dominoes. Okay? Keep reading about this.
And it reads, and what I shall answer when I am reproved.
Right, and what I shall answer when I am reproved, because we have been reproved. Now we answer that calling. What the scripture said, many are called, but few are chosen. Right? So he that is doeth to the end shall be saved. So yeah, we've been called, but we have yet to know we're chosen. But by the Spirit, through our perseverance, we believe that we are the men of the Lord. Who else is doing it? Started with the elders of Great Millstone on down. You know?
And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision, make it plain upon tables.
Right.
That he may run that readeth it.
Right. And we're running with this word right now. All right, because the scripture speaks about the race is not to the strong, to the swift, to the mighty, but by chance. All right? So everything is by the chance. So it's really the will of the Lord while we're out here. The Lord has compelled us by his spirit. Like Amos said, he said, I'm not the son of a prophet. Right? So I just had to establish that you know, the prophets are here again today, so people can't have an excuse for when all this hell breaks loose about that we're about to go into. Go ahead on.
Verse 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time.
And at appointed time.
But at the end it shall speak.
Right, in the end right now it is speaking. Right? It is speaking right now. Go ahead.
And not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it.
Though it tarry, wait for it. And we've been waiting patiently. That's what patience is. Patience is suffering. We're waiting for it. Go ahead out. That's it on that.
Because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
Right, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Right, and like the brother was reading, what was it, Jeremiah 28 and 8, it spoke about pestilence, it spoke about evil, it spoke about famine. Well, famine's gonna come to America. All right. I've seen a lot of articles about shortages happening. I mean, right here in America, there are actually stores that shelves have no products. It's just bare. All right, a brother had uploaded a video where this individual, this man said, you know, we have a restaurant to run, but we don't know when we're going to get the beef in. We don't know when we're going to get the Gatorade in. He said now, because of the distribution and the high demand of the supply, he said like a pound of beef for him was $2 at one point, but now it's costing him $8. He said, how am I supposed to run a business like that? Because now, if it costs you more to pay for the supplies, you got to up the price. If you got to up the price, people are not going to want to come to your restaurant. They're about to eat at home. So now you're gonna fall out for making your hard-earned money. So now you're gonna become dependent on the government. Okay. So that right there is also part of the famine. Isaiah 62:6 from the dial. I have set watchmen upon thy walls of Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. But you got to get in the frame. Day nor night. So like. Ye that make mention of Yahweh keep not silence. So we're not going to keep silence. The Isaiah 58:1 has to come to pass. We crying aloud and sparing not. That's why we out here preaching this word. Can you give me 2nd Ezra Bible Kashaf?
What chapter? I mean, what verse?
What you have pulled out? Right?
Oh, it's right here.
16:21.
This is 2nd Ezra 16:21. Behold, virtue shall be so good, cheap upon
Virtue?
earth.
Read again.
Salakia. This is 2nd Ezra 16:21. Behold, victuals shall be so good and cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be good in good case, and even that shall evil grow upon earth.
So victuals shall be so good, cheap. Shalom, Makwati, sister. Yahweh Shema Shai, Bashem Kagadash, I think that's a sister. Yeah, that's a sister. Right, Shalom. Right, so the scripture speaks about victuals shall be so good, cheap on earth, that people may think themselves to be in good shape. But it's not. You can tell by the shortages throughout America. And you know, I always speak on this. People only have at least 3 days tops of food that's available inside their grocery stores. And guess what people are starting to do right now? They're starting to buy toilet paper in bulk. But see, these are articles you got to go out and look for, because they don't want the people to go into another panic. All right? Because they're afraid that we're going to go back into another lockdown. Okay? And why are there shortages? Well, the reason why there are shortages, because those cargo ships that's out there sitting off the west coast of the United States. And that has nothing to do with, what was that, Revelation 18? The one dude tried to do that video telling some the ships are far off and they cry because of the evil or the hell. No, that's not talking about that. Okay? You matter of fact, you already read that. I got an article right here from Reuters. It says Container Gaten. All right, is the way they put it. Is they're talking about Container Armageddon. Supply Christ drives Walmart and rivals to hire their own ships. And this article came out October 7, 2021. Right before your eyes, man, they're letting you know one day you're going to go into Walmart and you won't be able to get your favorite supply of tampons or your Gatorade, or you won't be able to get your favorite cereal, because you have thousands and thousands of containers sitting out there in the way. I mean, even Walmart, even these other stores, they're going out getting their own ships to bring in their own supplies. But people still walk around as if nothing's going to happen, like there's no evils ahead. I mean, just because you don't want to hear the truth don't mean that it's not going to happen. It's going to manifest itself. And you can't say you wasn't warned. Right? Yeah, y'all dropping the ball. But, you know, we're going to stay on track. So this is the article right here, if y'all can see it. Okay? Container Geddon. Supply Christ drives Walmart and rivals to hire their own ships. All right? So in the article, the aim is to bypass log jam ports and secure scarce ship space at a time when CD-19, as well as U.S.-China trade ructions, equipment shortages, and extreme weather have exposed the fragility of the globe-spanning supply lines we use for everything from food and fashion to drinks and diapers. More than 60 container ships carrying clothing, furniture, and electronics worth billions of dollars are stuck outside Los Angeles and Long Beach terminals waiting to unload, according to the Marine Exchange of Southern California. Right? Like the scripture says, the victual shall be so good cheap that they will think themselves in good place. It's billions of dollars of merchandise just sitting out there in the waters. It said food, clothing, and appliances. Food. People don't understand. A lot of frozen beef and like even tilapia. All that come from China. China have a lot of those ponds. If you ever go in Walmart, you know they got the Great Value brand of the tilapia, which I ain't ate that in a long time. The tilapia, if you look on the back, it'll say product of China. It gets imported. So all that food is just sitting on those containers. And I also saw an article where they said that there's a shortage of food on those ships. They also said that they're fighting on the ships. They said that, yeah, you just sitting there. You want to go home. You know how long they've been sitting there for damn month. They want to go home. They're running out of food. And then because of the CD-19, they won't allow them to come on the base. They mean to come to the port, like to walk on the port. Because of health issues, man. It's getting bad out there. But it's a good sight for us. All right? You can read that one more time, Baba Kasha.
This is 2nd Esdras 16 and 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth,
Right.
that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even shall evil grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
Right, it's gonna be iller times here. Like I said, the dude said he had to pay like $5-6 more per pound for beef. So if you think about all the product that's sitting out there on those cargo ships, all these retailers, they're gonna want to make a profit back. So guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna up the price. So if you got 3 or 4 mouths to feed, and you're already on a budget, and also you have inflation with the dollar, then they're talking about raising the debt ceiling. I mean, food prices, everything's gonna start going up, man. Okay, and that's gonna cause greater evils on the earth. Okay, now continuing on in this article, it says other big retail players such as Target, Home Depot, Costco, and Dollar Tree have said they are chartering ships, listen to this, to deal with the pandemic-driven slowdown of sea networks that handle 90% of the world's trade. Let that sink in. Let that sink in, man. Okay? So you talking about Target, Home Depot, or Costco, and Dollar Tree. They're talking about chartering, getting their own ships because they know that this is a big supply line. Kind of like the Panama Canal, the Panama Deception. They wanted to build a canal through Panama so that they can connect with the Indian Ocean with the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, the Gulf of Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. That's what that was about back in 70s, if I'm not mistaken, late 70s, early 80s. They do not fly all of these products that you have in your home from across seas. Everything gets brought in by ships, and they're just sitting out there. And they said, at the most in the past decades, you'll probably see one ship sitting out there waiting. They got like damn near 60 ships out there waiting. Not for a week or two, going on a month. And then there's shortages here in America. They said sometimes you go in the store, you looking for Gatorade, you can't find Gatorade. You can't find your favorite bread. Ill times are coming. And the government is doing this purposely. Okay? They're doing this, they want to starve you out, man, believe it or not. They want to starve you out. What is stopping them from allowing them to unload those ships? It's that simple, people. People just walking up. Okay, ask yourself, what is hindering them from unloading those ships? Simple. I have a little bit more, and then matter of fact, read it one more time.
This is 2nd Esdras 16 and 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good and cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even shall evil grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
Right, sword, famine, and great confusion. Also, the Alabama food system is short on victuals. Food system is short on victuals. Damn. Yeah. A lot of that is gonna happen. according to the scriptures, according to the word, man. Like talking about the food shortages. That a lot of people don't understand, man. That you can't. A lot of people don't know how to start a fire. They don't know how to plant their own food. They don't have their own. They don't have their own gardens. They don't have their own cattle. So it's like every day you have to go to a store. Almost every day, and then you got to put food in your refrigerator. Cause we don't slaughter the cows or the lamb and eat it that day. We don't grind or grind in the mill the wheat and make bread, and we don't put yeast in it. We just go to the store and buy it. All that stuff is stuck out there on those ships, man. All right, you can read the next verse, Bible Bishop.
This is 2 Esdras 16 and 22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine.
Put that up too. Sorry, read it on. That's all I can.
2 Esdras 16 and 22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine.
Right, so many people shall perish of famine. All right? I mean, the average, what they say, like 70% of Americans are obese and they're overweight. I mean, you could go to McDonald's 2 in the morning and get you a number 7. Compared to having to slaughter the cow, make the bread, crush the tomatoes, smash the tomatoes to make the tomato sauce. No, you just, let me get number 7. That'll be 747. All right, pull around and stuff your face. You know? But they're gonna stop doing that, man. A lot of people are gonna actually have to go on a strict diet involuntarily. Because you're gonna go days without eating. Average American can't go hours without stuff in their face, man. You know?
Forced to fast.
They're gonna be forced to fast. It's gonna be gruesome. You know that?
And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
Right, shall the sword destroy. And that's gonna be those military men. They're gonna be coming in like mad men, spraying everybody. I mean, think about this, man. How many of these police officers saying that they're not taking the jab? In Chicago, over 50% of the police force said, man, they finna quit. And then you got dudes up in New York trying to run up and show these apartments as soon as they unlock the door. And then you got other females who have maintenance workers sending them text messages saying, hi, I miss you. I'm coming to see you. And guess what? He got keys to her apartment. You got a Judahite woman living by herself in a nice house, opens the door, get tased. Anything could have happened. Now she calling her big cousin, asking, do somebody want to come stay with them? And you can blame feminism for that because a lot of the women, they're going to be victims. Women and children are going to be victims out here. Because, go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
About the dude that tried to run up in the woman's house.
Yeah.
She locked the door just in time. They said, man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, man. You gonna see a lot of people trying to run up in your house for food, a loaf of bread, can of
rummage you through your pantry. You know? Going in your closet, taking your clothes, putting them on, trying on your shoes to see if they fit them, because they've been walking in the same pair of shoes for maybe 2 or 3 months. And probably took 3 or 4 nice wipe downs, you know what I'm saying, in those past 3 or 4 months. You know? I mean, you're not having those victuals, not being able to take a shower every day, shampoo your hair. The shortages are here already. It's just not hitting people because some people can go to the store and still get their favorite products. But there's news articles all out, shelves empty. You can't get your beauty products anymore. All that makeup, all those toiletries. Can you imagine women going days without taking a shower, having a menstrual cycle?
The hygiene,
yeah, man, it's gonna be nasty out here. It's gonna be evil out here, man. Old men who eat pork all the time, sweating.
It's like I think it mentions in Isaiah about that, but it shall stink because there will be no incense. I forgot the verse, man.
That was a curse. By the woman. That's why they have vagisil.
Isaiah 3:24.
Yeah, but that's talking about a curse. That is not actually talking about that money. Right. You can get Habakkuk 2, and I think it's 8. Right. Because they're going to destroy the money system. Proverbs 28 and 15. As a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. Right. That's what's happening right now. And I was having a conversation with this dude in my martial arts class. He was talking about equality. I said equality is opportunity. I said, but when you live in a capitalist society, there's no such thing as equality. Because capitalism is trying to gain infinite profit with finite resources. You can't make more money than from the product you're trying to produce, right? And with there being a lack of resources, all they're doing is squeezing the life source of the people. You know? Jeremiah 42:21. And now I have this day declared it to you, but ye have not obeyed the voice of Yahweh your God, nor anything for the which he have sent me unto you. Now therefore know certainly that you shall die by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence, in the place whither ye desire to go and sojourn. Right. Right. You have a cook?
Habakkuk
Good job.
2, verse 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, Habakkuk 2 and 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him,
Right.
and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
Right, and I remember, what's your boy name? Trump. He was talking about, yeah, we're over there so we can protect the oil. That's the only reason why they over there, for those resources, man. They want those natural resources. That's all 9/11 was about. They needed to have some type of collateral damage that they can hold those people to, which they never did. And we all know it was an inside job. But at the end of the day, that's why they had their foot over in Afghanistan for almost what? 2 decades? Because they wanted all of those resources that's there. There's over like $2 trillion in natural resources over there. Okay, and that's why China is also trying to get in good with the Taliban, because they want to invest there. Just like China and Russia, they're investing in Africa. And Africa also doing investments with United States. But see, America owes a lot of people money. And on top of that, America has a lot of debt because of these wars that we go to.
It says, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
Right, and him that laded himself with thick clay. When you go into that word clay in the Hebrew, it's abatya, which means negative balances, debt. And America had laid himself with thick debt.
Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booty unto them? Oh, you need
No, that's good. I was gonna get that, but that's perfect. When you go into the word booty, we think about pirates. When a pirate would invade another ship, they would take all their supplies on there. Their supplies is another word for booty. They would take the wine, they would take the guns, they would take whatever resources they had, and they would take the women. All right, even whenever someone would raid a village, see, when men see women, they look at women like, dang, look at that booty. They're talking about a woman's rear, but a woman is also booty. She's also merchandise. All right, a woman, and what they say, he that getteth a wife getteth a possession. Okay, that's why when they look at women, they say booty, but really it goes back to whenever you would raid a village or like a town or something like that. You know, that's what it meant. But America has a lot of debt. That's what that thick clay stands for. So this is an article from voanews.com. U.S. debt ceiling. What's behind the latest crisis in Washington? It says, the United States government regularly spends more money than it takes in from taxes, fees, and other sources of revenue. Let that sink in. America is spending more money than it's bringing in. Why? Mainly because of these wars. That means that the country must regularly borrow money to make up the difference. So America is robbing Peter to pay Paul. All right? The current accumulated federal debt stands at $28.4 trillion, according to the Treasury Department. And this article was published October 7th. So America is $24.3 trillion in debt, and nobody's worried about that? No one's concerned with your United States government is so bad with money. They're $28 trillion in debt, and everybody walks around like nothing's happening. That's sad, man. So that means that there's no future for America. I mean, who's gonna pay off the debt? They're talking about making $1 trillion platinum coin. That's not gonna erase trillions of dollars in debt. It's stupid. All right, because you keep printing all this money. It's not backed by anything. Who was it? Nixon. Ever since Nixon got rid of the gold standard, America wasn't backed by anymore. Now that they had the petrodollar, all they did was pull a mafia move. You want to sell your own oil internationally, you got to use the American dollar. That's a mafia move. You want to sell drugs on my corner, you got to give me 15% off top. Now these countries say the hell with the dollar. You want to know what it is? The only reason why these countries are still dealing with the American dollar because they're paying back debts that they did deals in American currency. That's it. Other than that, they say the hell with it because they're getting rid of it. They're getting rid of it, all these treasury bonds and everything. Right? So, can you get me?
I got Proverbs 20 and 23.
Oh, that's good.
Proverbs 20 and 23, diverse weights are an abomination unto the Lord.
Right.
So when it goes back and said how unjust gains, you feel me? When he said unjust gains, woe unto him that increased that which is not his. So he's increasing, and not giving a damn about the needy. Diverse weights are an abomination unto the Lord, and a false balance is not good. So, because he's increasing, which is not his, a false balance is not good, and we're seeing the result of why a false balance is not good.
Be the one talking about Bubba Joe?
Proverbs 20 and 23. Diverse weights are an abomination unto the Lord, and a false balance is not good.
Right, and America's in a negative, and that's not good. Right, that's not good. So, going back to this article, it says, for the first 140 years of U.S. history, the Treasury was obliged to seek the permission of Congress every time it wanted to issue new debt. Okay? However, in 1917, when the U.S. government needed to borrow money to fund its participation in the First World War, this process became cumbersome. So, war is another reason why the American people go into debt, because they use taxpayers' dollars to go into these wars, and that creates a public debt. So really, they lie to you when they say this is how much the people owe the American government. No, we don't owe you any debt. You use the taxpayers' dollars, and you put us in debt. But because people don't know how money works, everybody's saying, oh man, we owe the government money. No, you don't. But they tell you already in debt when you're born. You're born already. What they say, you have to put, you're like $100,000. Every person that's born in America, like $100,000 in debt. Why is that? Because the dollar's losing its damn value. You gotta pay more for something that cost half as much 10 years ago. But the dollar's strong. How? That's like I'm pushing more weight. I'm squatting more weight, but I got the same results. That don't make any sense, man. Okay? Oh, you give me James 5:1? You got something?
James 5:1. Go.
Hold on. Check this out. It says, rather than demand that the Treasury seek permission for every war bond issuance, Congress gave the department blanket permission to borrow money up to a certain amount. Lawmakers will only need to get involved when and if that limit needed to be breached. So there was never really a limit. So the American government, what they would do, they would change the laws. When they talk about raising a debt ceiling, they said they had a limit, but the law would only get involved if that limit was breached. why would you say it's preached as if someone like broke into the U.S. Treasury bonds and then stole bonds? No, all you did was raise the debt ceiling. But listen to the words they use, raise. No, all you're doing is increasing more debt. The bubble's gonna burst sooner or later. It's like they're procrastinating. They're procrastinating on cancer. They don't want to cure the cancer, which is the debt. They want to just let it go on and on. Keep putting chemo on it, or like a tumor. No, you have to get rid of that tumor. But the debt is never gonna go away. So woe to him that is laden with thick clay, with that debt. After several changes to the rules over the next 20 years, a general limit was placed on all federal debt in 1939. And what America has done, Shalom, Shalom, y'all by Shem Al-Shai, by Shem Kagadas, Barakatah. Say in the spirit, don't fear. Come on. So America's debt has come from them taking loans. They took loans like, this is what they did. They went to the Federal Reserve and they took a loan out that they can pay back in like 20 years. But there's like maybe like $400 something billion interest on it. So then when it comes back around for them to pay that off, they take out another loan, they pay on top of that interest. All they're doing is robbing Peter to pay Paul. And they're trying to extend it because they don't want the American people to know. Who was it? Henry Ford? Pretty much the pioneer of Ford Motors. He said if the American people knew how the financial system worked, he said they'll be rioting first thing in the morning. People don't know how money works, man. You know, gold and silver, that is real money, but the true money, the true treasure is this word. At the end of the day, money's not gonna, matter of fact, can you give me Ecclesiastes 7 and 12? Ecclesiastes after Proverbs. The brother Nadal dropped Sirach 21 and 4. To terrify and do wrong will waste riches. Thus the house of proud men shall be made desolate. Right. Because how was America made? On fair trade? No. Off of slavery. Right. So it's going to be desolate via ICBM missiles, man. Oh, that's what's known as the lake of fire in Revelation.
This is how you know they're not fit the rule. Ecclesiastes 10 and 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people.
Right.
But through the prudence of men which are in authority, the city shall be established.
And we are in authority because it tells you in Isaiah 54, I think the last verse, it said anyone that comes up against you in prophecy or in preaching shall be condemned, because this is our heritage. So the prophets have authority. Did not Nathan have authority over King David? When Nathan told David about the rich man that took the poor man's cattle, and David was like, where is this man bringing for the congregation? And then the prophet told David, no, you're that rich man that took that poor man's cattle. Even the prophets had always had authority over the kings, because the prophet is who the Lord sent to let them know. I mean, same thing with Alexander the Greek. Alexander the Greek, he read that the prophets was going to meet him. That's not only written, that's written in secular history. That's why in the book of Maccabees it speaks about him. And it speaks about Antiochus Epiphanes IV. You know? Yeah, read that, Bible.
This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 12. For wisdom is a defense.
So wisdom is a defense. Okay?
And money is a defense.
And money is a defense, because that's the only way you can take somebody out of the store.
Exactly.
Right?
But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom gives life to them that have it.
But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom gives life to them that have it. Because people think that they got a lot. People think they have status with this money. But if that money's gone, what good is your life now?
Exactly.
See, they can take all that from us. But we have the excellency of wisdom, which giveth life. Remember you were talking about that dude that you said what he fell?
Jumped from the down.
He jumped, whatever, committed suicide, and Jake was like, damn, how could you commit suicide? You got people, man, that lost everything. People lost 401ks. Because think about it, a lot of people, their jobs, they buy bulk insurance from insurance companies, bulk insurance for medical insurance, right? So they say if you don't get this job, you can't work. So he loses 401k with the company, he loses medical insurance with the company, and now he loses his pension with the company. So if somebody asks, man, why would that dude downtown St. Pete commit suicide? Hell, maybe he lost everything. Maybe his wife wanted to divorce him because they said domestic violence rates went up ever since they had the shutdown.
America through.
People losing their minds, you know?
Trying to fix it.
Right.
That's a good precept after that. You don't mind?
Yeah, go ahead,
I
brother.
got Ecclesiastes 7:13. Consider the work of Yahweh, for who can make that straight which he have made crooked.
Right, so who can make that straight which is made crooked? Hey, so Esau can't be saved, but like America will never be able to heal us. It speaks about that. We would have given her bone, we would have healed her.
No, back in the day, we used to go to North Shore Pool, we used to do the little thing like that. They jumping over buildings like that.
Oh my God.
That's terrible to say, but hey.
No, I get what you're saying.
America through, so
Yeah, it's through. Like, fuck it. I mean, I don't want to see the end. I just want to jump off and see what it's going to be like, you know? Psalms 90:12. So teach us to number our days that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Matter of fact, can you give me Proverbs? I think it's 3:11, Bible Kashar.
Well, while he's getting that, I can bring out Matthew 16:26 because people do that because they got money, that's their status. But riches is not gonna save anyone in the day of the Lord's anger. You know, so wisdom, Matthew 16:26. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
Right, and that's what Kyrie Irving is pretty much trying to protest. People are saying you're gonna lose $100-something million, man, because you don't want to get a shot. But like, there's people out here that are having complications, getting blood clots from it, and he's like, hell, is it worth my life? Even Andrew Wiggins was like, he didn't want to take it, but then he started thinking about the wealth for his family. But what if you die from that? You won't be able to accumulate that money so that you can have that wealth for your family. So you're trying to gain all that money by giving over your soul, because remember, even Elder Pastor Hart said they have traces of the squid, of an octopus in there. They use the blood because they say it's translucent. And I heard him talking about them making certain devices that if you stand under a certain light, they can see whether or not they have it in your veins or in your blood. And I saw an article where it said that a whole bunch of J&Js had got dumped because they found tentacle DNA in it. What the heck you think the tentacle DNA came from? Elder Pastor Hart spoke about that months ago. It's right there in your face, man. That's why we bring it out here. So that when it hits the fan, you can't say, oh my God, we never knew America was this nefarious. We didn't know they were aiming for the common people. You have no excuse anymore. How do we live in the information age? People got smartphones, but they're stupid. Like, you really don't know what's going on? You have the TikTok. How you doing, man?
Listen to their stupid phones, that's all.
Right, man. They need to pick up a book, man. Right. Yeah, you can't TikTok your life away, man. You can't Instagram your life away. Netflix your life away. Sometimes you gotta sit down, you gotta bite the bullet. Sometimes you gotta take that red pill, man. You gotta stop trying to be like, what's your boy name? It was an A-Pop, the one that said, listen, I know this steak isn't real, but it's juicy and it's tender. He said, I don't wanna remember anything. That's how people are today, man. They walk around with their eyes wide shut. They don't want to see the truth. But at the end of the day, going back to what the brother said in Psalms 90:12, and this asshole is gonna look. See? This is America. Me first. I'm American. I go first. I know you got the right of way. I go first. I'm a patriot. That's whatever, man. Psalms 90:12. So teach us to number our days that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Go ahead up. Proverbs 3:11.
It's Proverbs 3:11 again. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction.
Right.
Verse 12. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, as even the father of the son, whom he delighteth. Okay. Verse 13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and a man that getteth understanding.
It says, happy is the man that find wisdom, that get understanding. All right? That's why, when you finally know the truth and you start to speak about it, we have to find a way to counteract this. We have to find a way to nullify this effect of this truth spreading. Oh, misinformation. Oh, fake news. Oh, flag their page. Oh, take their page down. Oh, say this dude is crazy. So they already demonize you. They already strip you from what they don't want you to really know. Oh no, you should watch CNN. Oh no, you should watch Fox. A lot of these Edomite women, man. So, hey, how about Shema Shah Rock this out? That's all I'm gonna say. So you gotta pray. So a lot of these people out here, they don't understand that what's happening in the world has already been written in the scriptures. So this wisdom is more precious than your 401k, than your medical insurance. You know, I can understand if you have brothers that have a family, but you really know where your riches are. You really know where your help is from, man. That's why we have a certain dietary law. All right. See, they say all the majority of the people that are dying from the CD19, they said 70% of them had heart problems, or they're diabetic, or they was obese. So really, they were already had a weak immune system. They just got broken down more and more. That's all it was. So you're supposed to already eat right and be healthy, man. All right. Matter of fact, can you give me second? 1 Timothy 4:8, 4:12. You can't read Bible shop.
This is verse 14. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver. I'm gonna read it again. This is Proverbs 3:14.
Shalom. How about Shema? This
is Proverbs 3:14. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold.
Right. So to have wisdom is far better than have these fine golds and all these jewels, because all that's not gonna mean nothing. Right now, if somebody in the Bugatti drove by, they'd be like, man, that is a very nice car. But then when America turns to I Am Legend, that Bugatti is gonna be a heap of junk, right? Hey, don't you remember that scene when Sam ran behind that one zombie?
And they was in there waiting.
Yeah, they was in there waiting. But when he went in there with his gun, what did you see on the floor? What did you see on the floor? Money. A whole bunch of money was on the floor. That money meant nothing.
I think that was a bank that they was
I think it was in the bank. That money meant nothing, man. So that just goes to show you what was more valuable then. He had canned food in his house. What he did, he always ran on a treadmill. He did all of that. Because fitness and food then was the most valuable thing. That money meant nothing. So when all the stores shut down, when it started to have civil unrest, when people start to go days without getting hungry, so they start to go out of their psyche. They start thinking when people started hunger, they started thinking rational. Hell, somebody get to the point they'll eat a person.
Because he was talking to many.
He was talking. Remember what was the dude? I forgot his name. What are you doing out here? What? He was like, what?
And Maggie said,
yeah, and then got there, got pulled up. I'm about to watch that movie today, man.
Watch this, Isaiah, when he says you saw money on the floor, because, man, nothing material is going to profit nobody in that day when all hell breaks loose.
Well, not nothing. I don't gotta say nothing material, because you can use some toilet paper, you can use some canned food, you can use a bottle of water. Right?
It says, Isaiah 2:20, in that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship, to the mules and to the bags. And when you think of that, when you said when you saw the money on the floor, that it was silver and gold. It's not going to profit.
Right. But they made that gold. They were talking about getting rid of their gods. But can you read me 1 Timothy 4:8?
1 Timothy 4:8. For body exercise profited little.
For body exercise profited little. So in other words, taking care of your body, which is your temple, it profit, but it profit you little. So that don't mean that, because the scripture said to be carnal minded is death. No, you still got to take care of your body. Why? Because that's where your spirit housed at. People don't understand food gives you the necessary nutrients that create chemical reactions in your body and your brain and throughout all of your systems that help you function properly. Not just to eat, not just to see and hear, to process information, or for you to have certain digestions, or for your body to function a certain way. Also for your spirit too, for your psyche, your mind. So you need all of that. But bodily exercise is good. It's kind of like having an old house that you rent, a house you've been living in for years, but you constantly renovating on it. That's all the body is. The body's like a car. You got to change the oil. You got to keep putting gas in. You got to get new tires. You got to clean it out. So you got to flush your body out too. That's exactly what your body's like. So bodily exercise profitable and it profitable little, right? And that's the reason why I brought that out. Because they were talking about all the people that were dying from COVID. CD19, I should say. Forgive me. There was either like 70% like obese, diabetics, or they were diabetics, or they had heart problems. So like,
And it says, but godliness is profitable unto all things,
right, godliness is profitable. Right?
having promise of the life that now is, and
Right.
of that which is to come.
Having promise of the life that now is and to that which is come. So there's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is why we come out here and we believe, because remember we were talking, like, there's nothing out here that's going to be able to, like, it's like, no, you this is what you said, Salaki. You said, we don't know when it's going to happen. I said, me and the wife spoke about that last night. We know the who, the what, the where, the how, and the why, we just don't know when. Because even Yahushua said that him and the angels don't know when it's going to happen. So we're just patiently waiting. And that's why we're watchmen. We constantly on our watch, man, looking for and hasting for the day of the Lord.
Watch and pray.
Where a new heaven and a new, watch and pray. Where a new heaven and a new earth dwelleth, man. That's why we constantly come out and bring out this truth, bring out this word. Okay? Okay, that was it on that, right? Was it on that? Can you give me Proverbs 13 and no, Proverbs 3, Salah, 3 and 13.
13?
No. Yeah. 3, 13, and 14. And I would like you to get you read it out.
This is Proverbs 3 and 13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom and that getteth understanding.
Happy is the man that findeth wisdom and get understanding. Right? Right up.
14. For the merchandise of it, better than the merchandise of silver, and gain thereof is fine gold.
So to have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Bible is far more greater than any fine gold, than any jewels that you could ever possess in your life. All right? Matter of fact, let me pull out something really quick. Because I forgot somebody made a quote. Theodore Roosevelt quoted, "A thorough knowledge of the Bible is worth more than a college education." Let that sink in. Theodore Roosevelt said, "A thorough knowledge of the Bible is worth more than a college education." Right? So that just goes to show you that this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is what's the foundation of life itself. The Bible, if you look at the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible, it literally teaches you how to be a God on earth. And we fell short from that. What the scripture says, ye are gods, but you shall die like the princes of men. Right? Why? Because it tells you in Deuteronomy the 4th chapter, it says, what so good nation this is, when they see us without this knowledge, wisdom. Matter of fact, let me just pull it out real quick. You can read that one more time.
14 and 15, well 13 and 14.
Yeah.
This is Proverbs 3 and 13 and 14. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and he that getteth it understanding.
Right.
14. For the merchandise of it is better than merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold.
Right. So how would you break that down? Like how do you feel about it? Do you think that's a good precept?
Excellent precept, man.
Right.
Because people glorify other things. Like I always say, glory goes up, not down and around. Because the Lord supplies with wisdom, man. Like it says in James, he that not have wisdom shall, was it James 3, 1 and 3, 3 and 1?
What did it say, brother?
He that not have wisdom shall ask for it.
Oh, yeah. You absolutely. I know. As a matter of
Okay,
fact.
and only the Lord can offer you wisdom, man. It's the greatest thing. It's better than money, anything, man.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest things. It's a good feeling to have wisdom, man.
Right.
It's a tool.
Oh,
Okay.
Ooh, say that again.
Wisdom is a tool.
Exactly.
And we are utensils for the Most High.
I like
Okay?
that.
Wisdom is a tool.
Wisdom is a tool because, well, how should I put it? That is right because Think about knowledge being the tool. It's wisdom is when you apply that tool. That's what makes you wise. Everybody, oh, I know I'm an Israelite. Okay, well, are you rehearsing the righteous acts? No. Well, that isn't wise.
And like you said, wisdom stability, knowledge, wisdom at times. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because everybody thought their bank account was fine, exhausted their funds. Going to college was fine. You couldn't go. And now they say if you want to go back, you got to have a certification. So it's like,
To go back where?
to go back to college. Yeah, and then they say if you don't get the job, you're going to be thousands of dollars in debt and you can't go back. You got to pay them. I heard a Juliet woman crying. She was like, "My daughter, they want her to get they want her to get her the Beetlejuice, but they say if she don't get it, she can't go back to college. She's gonna be $30,000 in debt. I don't know what to do." Well, Theodore Roosevelt said, "The thorough knowledge of the Bible is better than college education. You should have listened to him."
You know, I believe they're gonna cut the NFL year short if nobody get that jab. You know what I'm saying? Everybody expecting the Super Bowl to come on. I believe it ain't gonna be no damn Super Bowl if they don't get that jam.
They had the Super Bowl last year when they had the lockdown.
But this year, I know.
Come on now. James 1 and 5 is what you was talking about. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. Hey, I thought for that. I forgot about that precept.
We need it. We need it,
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Who goes
First-
without wisdom? Who goes without wisdom, man? We need wisdom. It is our tool, man. Especially the elect, man. It is our tool, man. It's like wisdom is instructions, man. Period. Okay, that's it.
And you have to execute them instructions. Because the Bible is an instruction guide, but if you execute it, that don't make you wise. That makes you a damn fool, really. Because if you know it, what they say, if you knew better, then you should do better. So don't just know it, you gotta apply it. Matter of fact, we right here. James 1 and 22. I'm gonna start at 21. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Well, I know I'm an Israelite. Why are you doing what the Lord told you to do? At the end of the day, right? Because remember the man said, how shall a man have everlasting life? What do you, how shall I quote, what all these modern day Christians like to quote? The 10 Commandments. Keep the laws. He said if you break one, you break them all, but guess what? The scripture says the just shall live by faith, right? And that's a beautiful one. Proverbs 15 and 16. Because that correlates with James 1 and 5, I guess it was. It says, better is little with the fear of Yahweh than great treasure and trouble therewith. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Just to have a little fear of Yahweh is better than have infinite wealth. Like you had brought out earlier. What is it that a man would gain the whole world and lose his soul?
The beautiful thing about obedience is it keeps you safe, it keeps you protected. You know, what it says in 2 Ezra 7 and 20. There be many that perish in this life because they despise the law of the Most High, which is set before them.
Like the scriptures say, those who fear the Lord shall be kept safe, man.
Right.
Shall be kept from evil.
Kept from evil, kept safe. Evil is an ill time, you know, kept safe from the evils to come. Because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's how you're gonna get it. It's like people only call on the Lord when they're in a pinch. They think praying to the Lord is like insurance. You know what I'm saying? Like you just pray to him when you need it and call him. But what are you in? If you're not paying on your insurance, it's gonna be ineffective. So if you're not investing in things in heaven, your prayer is ill-advised. It holds no weight.
Yeah.
You know how JB, man, I gotta wait in these streets. I'm trying to have weight in heaven. I want weight in the cloud.
And like you were saying, people don't want to go to the Lord when they're in trouble. You can't use the Lord. Well, I'm in trouble. Let me go to the Lord now. But when shit popping, you ain't thinking about it. You living your best life.
Jay loves saying that they be living their best. It's sad because Jay think this is their best life. Wake up in the morning, Jay walk to the stove, crust all in his eye. Hey man, let me get a Philly, man. Let me get a Swisher Sweet, and let me get 2 Newport shoulders. Then Jake go in the alley. His homies creep through. They don't even call each other. They know what time to come through. got some wake and bake, smoke weed, talk about LeBron or Michael Jordan. Man, you tripping, bro. Man, I'm finna go home on 2K right now, bro. That's that, like, they think that's their life, bro. That's Jake living their best life, like they said.
And for all you entertainers with your money funny on the side of your head and all that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That ain't gonna do you no good. I'm sick of saying that.
Right.
They sold $300,000 on the side of their head. It was a point in time we couldn't do that now, man.
No.
That's how you know money has no value.
Brother, you said something so beautiful. That was one point where we were walking on dirt roads and Edomites was driving by in them Ford Model Ts. They was driving by in all them. When you see Jake with all these fancy cars and all of that, that was a time they wouldn't even let you inside those buildings, man. There was times you couldn't even sit in the front of the bus, man. There was times where they said we only whites only, no Negroes, no Mexicans, and no dogs. They had a sign like that, right? But Jake think because they can drive in a Bugatti, where they got a $300,000 charm or chunk around their neck, they winning. Like I'm gonna say, like Jake said, like Ox said, but we still Jake anyway. Cause you know when we talk traveling, then Jake, you tripping. So like Ox said, that's how you know money lost its value. Cause Jake they can win $300,000 change around their neck or something. Like Kwame Brown said, buy some damn land if you're gonna spend money. Don't buy 20 acres. He said, become a part of the 20 acres club. And then some young rappers been buying land. And then build your own compound and shit. Jake don't think like that. See, Jake would rather go and make Esau rich, man. But you know, that's another story. You know, we segueing off into something else, man. The brother had dropped the down dropped Proverbs 19:23. The fear of Yahweh tendeth to life, and he that hath it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. Dang. Hey man, that was it right there. Yeah, what you just said. He found a precept for it. That was perfect.
Fearing the Lord is the fountain of life. Not too many people sipping from that fountain, man.
Well, it didn't say that.
I mean, that's about.
Oh, okay. Now see, now you gonna have him drop that one. Yeah, but that was beautiful. But going back to, you know, the reason why I brought out the article on the debt ceiling and brought out the article on the cargoes, because that correlates with the victuals being so cheap. That correlates with America being in so much debt, because that's going to affect the common people. See, you may lose, you know, a couple $100. They don't want to lose millions. They're not trying to lose billions. All right, so they'll make sure that they cut corners for themselves so that they see, when you live in a capitalistic society, making all that money is good for their family, for generational wealth. But it's something they're always trying to contain. They're always trying to hold on to their family image. That's why they said this quarter we made this much, that we have to let's make more. Let's make more. It's never enough that they've made maybe 25% over what they wanted for their quarter, for their fiscal year. They got to make more. So all they do is make us what? More poor. And that's it. And they have all this debt, and you have all this merchandise that's not being brought in, and all that gonna segue into why China, Moab, is who the Lord is using to stir. That's gonna really stir up a lot of things that's gonna pertain to the third woe. Can you give me Psalms 16?
Psalm 16:8 is Moab is my wash pot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe.
Right.
Philistia, triumph thou because of me.
Right. So, see, America used propaganda on the news to talk evil on China, but this article says madeinamerica.com. American companies you didn't know that were owned by Chinese investors. So behind the scenes, they're doing deals with China, but they'll put it out there in propaganda to you that, oh, China's the enemy. And what they're doing, they're shipping a lot of jobs across seas. And a lot of people here don't really understand it, that they're exporting out those jobs, man. See, that's how statistics work. They'll say, oh, we created 100-something more jobs. Yay! Yeah, but 20 to 30% of those are being exported to foreign countries. Right? That's how statistics work. You know? So, America, AMC, Beijing-based Dalian Warner Group became the majority stockholder. Wanted to invest $2.8 billion in historic deal. Historic deal. All right. General Motors. All right. You know you got the rednecks. They love their Ford trucks and shit.
GMC.
That's GM. General Motors, based in Detroit, Michigan. Chinese company. It relies on its partnership with Shanghai Automotive Industry Corp to stay profitable. Damn, so just for them to make a profit, they need this Shanghai Corp so they can make money. So they need China, they need Moab. You read that again?
Psalm 60:8. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Philistia, triumph thou because of me.
Right. And you got Spotify, Snapchat, Hilton Hotels, General Electric appliance division, and I also have a video, a short on my page where Dabu 7 goes in on like a whole list. I mean the Cleveland Cavaliers, a whole bunch of other companies. Think about it. Why you think LeBron James kind of stuck up for China? So everybody saying, oh, he's a communist. Won't he move to China? Yada yada yada. You assholes, you over here, you thinking you so pro-American, your own government, man, they doing deals behind your back with China. That's just how stupid these people are, man. What is patriotism today? Huh? Going to fight in a war that when you come back, you got veterans sleeping on the goddamn street. But Afghanistan, you gonna blow $2 trillion fucking over there? Huh? What's so patriotic about that? People ODing off of fentanyl? Goddamn. Yeah, I'm upset. Nah, this place is fucking wicked, man.
That's one thing I want. You go fight for this country, you come back, you land on the ground in America.
On the ground.
I'm a veteran, give me $1. They be really vets because
they have the vet. Or they're in the wheelchair and then they're saying, yeah, the VA, they won't give me my money or my medications. And you always got the nigga woman saying, well, did you fill out your forms? Well, then you probably ain't fill it out right. And like, the watchdog.
The VA be holding out on their money. They don't give a damn about you, man.
They don't.
I seen it too. I witnessed it. They're holding a sign. They're collecting whatever they can. And they got an army boot bag.
Yeah.
Right there next to the pole on the floor.
Yeah, man.
Well, America's a proud country, man.
It's a proud, wicked country.
Pride wasn't made for man.
Pride wasn't made for man, and pride go before destruction anyway. All right. You have some precepts, right?
Yeah. We're going to start with faith.
Yeah. Go there.
You do 11.
Yep. Because we gonna go right into the faith because the Lord is using Moab. That's gonna usher in really that Third World War. Because remember, Russia and China are allies. They friends, they buddies, man. You know, we haven't heard much from Iran, but Iran's also allies with them too. Syria and Putin, Assad, they cool. You know, the Erdogan from Turkey, they cool. America losing allies. I mean, you got, what's his name? Damn, the president of France. He told all his ambassadors, hey man, get up out of those courts. Get out of there. It's the reason why America is investing in Australia, investing in Taiwan, and investing in Japan, because they're putting military bases around China. That's why China was talking smack to one of the corporals, Macron, the water up. That's why China was talking smack to one of the corporals from the Air Force. They said if you want to fight, we can fight in the air. China's not afraid to go to war with America. They're just not dumb as America. Because America would nuke you, but you don't think they got nukes too? How smart are you? You know? But once again, like I said, they make you think China's the enemy. They're doing backdoor deals with China. They're pulling the Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith going first take talk all that bull crap by Kyrie, but then he in the DMs like, hey, listen here, brother, can we reconcile? Man, have that same energy when you on a national network, fool. Don't try to DM behind the scenes. What you call him? You a weak weasel? They won't call me Brown, call him a weak weasel, man. A damn fox in the hen house. You know? You got that up?
This is Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Can you give me Matthew 13?
Okay.
15?
Faith is the things that are hoped for, things that are not seen. You see, people, if it ain't on sight, they don't believe it. It doesn't feel right. We've been so conditioned, and these Babylonians been so conditioned to believe in everything that they can see. all right, and grasp, that's the set in their heart, okay? Faith. Then the Lord say, when I come, shall I find faith on earth?
Right.
And that's how
Luke
we make
18.
it faith.
Right.
Luke 18.
Yep. Where he says, it said, the Lord shall surely avenge his elect. But he said, when he come back, shall I find faith on earth? Because you gotta think about it. When it says, shall I find faith on earth? Think about what it says in 1 Peter 4. It says, the righteous shall scarcely be saved. The Lord speaks about a remnant. The Lord speaks about a grape from a cluster. Always talking about a drop from a wave, a very small portion. So in other words, the Lord's like, when he come back, there shall be people that have faith on earth, but it's not going to be a vast majority. Why? Because the slain of the Lord shall be many. You know? No, speak. Go ahead, speak.
2 Corinthians 5 and 7, for we walk by faith, not by sight. So it's like we see all these things by sight, crumbling, food shortages, and all these worrying situations. But we're not looking at it. We look past that, you know. We walk by faith that everything is going to be good. Matthew 13 and 15, for this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes have closed, lest any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should understand with their hearts, and should be converted, and I should heal them.
Keep going.
Blessed are your eyes, for they see. Blessed are your ears, for they hear.
Right. See, we don't walk. We keep it again, Hebrews 11 and 1. You got what Hebrews at?
This Hebrews 11 and 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
See, the scripture says it is righteous to him. There are plenty who are righteous, they're stumbling blocks to the wicked. See, we can see these things, but there are certain things in the future that we speak on. It's like, they look and be like, man, that's not gonna happen. Because the scripture says, like when it says, Yahweh says, he shall not meet me as a man. But then it says that when we see him, we shall be like him. So that's talking about having supernatural abilities. People don't want to believe that part, but then we're talking about Revelation 13 and 16. That's evident today. We speaking about, what was that, Habakkuk 2, about the thick clay. That's evident today, right? When we speaking about the victual being so good cheap, that shall be famines. There's food shortages today. So you can see those things happening. So even though what we speak about as well may be far-fetched to you, but we ain't walking by sight, we walking by the faith. Because some of this stuff wasn't even evident, but the elders already knew it because the Lord revealed it unto them. That's why the scripture says, miss not the discourse of the elders, man. Because the Lord is dealing directly with the elders, a great millstone. Okay? So going back to what was that you about the faith, hold on. About the faith, you the one to talk about, Bishop?
This is Hebrews 11 and 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Right, so we believe we're going to get new bodies and we're going to be like the Hulk and like Mr. Manhattan and Superman. People don't have faith in it, they can't see that, but we can. Because we read these words and we see it and they comfort us of it. And we can also visualize, like Elder Apostle Gabar says, you have to be a visionary. If the Lord said you're going to be my battle axe and weapons of war, well, what, this flesh? And this wicked ass flesh, this weak ass flesh, and the Lord gave Esau the blessing of the sword. So if the Lord gonna use us as weaponry, we're gonna have to have new bodies. 1 John 3 and 1. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. And that remind me of a precept this brother had brought out. John 3 and 36. It says, he that believeth on the Son have everlasting life, and he that believeth not the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of Yahweh abideth on him. Right, so going back to right here where it says, therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. That's the same thing the Messiah said. he said, if you don't believe me for the works I do, at least believe the Father. It said, matter of fact, it said that they would not have crucified him if they knew who the Father was. And what happened when they crucified him? He gave up the spirit. The temple rent, and then the Roman centurion said, sure, this was a just man. Right? So the same way they look at him, the same way they look at the prophets today. You're nothing just men. You're just men. That's how they look at the Messiah. He came from the seed of Abraham. He came to be a living sacrifice. But when he come back, he shall not be a man. Now 1 John 3:2. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and doth it not yet appear what we shall be? But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. Woo! And he speaks about us rejoicing at his coming. But before all of that, what we got to do? We have to be patient, man. You know, we got to stay focused. We got to keep our hands to the plow.
If I may add, Philippians 3:21, for our conversation is in heaven, from which also we look for the Savior, the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned unto his glorious body.
You can't make this up.
According to the workings whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. So we're waiting on the Lord. When we see him, we're going to be just like him.
Yep.
Lord's will.
He's going to change our vile bodies. Yep. Whatever you got.
Gotta have faith that we would do. He said that we would do greater works than him, right?
Yeah, he said that was on St. John 14, I think. He said we shall do greater works than him. Let me read the brother Nadab video, the precepts, and you can bring out whatever you have next one. Nadab dropped Ephesians 4:30. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Yahweh, whereby ye are sealed until the day of redemption. Beautiful. That reminds me of what the Lord said to Paul. What was that? Romans 11? When he said, I have 7,000 men that have not bowed down and worshiped all. Right. So you got men that are sealed to until the day of redemption. Hebrews 1:11-12. They shall perish, but thou remainest, and they shall wax old as doth a garment, and as a vesture shalt thou fold up, and they shall be changed. But thou art the same, and thy years shall not fail. Let's talk about being immortal. Perfect.
I got Psalms 115:11. Ye that fear the Lord, trust in the Lord. He is their help and their shield. Okay? That's what, like it says in, I can't tell you what it says, put on the whole armor. All right, that
Ephesians 6:10-12. Yep.
The helmet of salvation, the chest plate.
I think it says that the chest plate of righteousness,
and the
helmet
shield
of salvation.
of faith, to quench the fiery darts.
Yep.
And that's why we got here. So
What's the sword?
The sword of
The sword is the word. Okay, remember what it says? It says the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of your heart. So the words of Yahweh, man, are strong. They're powerful. Because you got to understand, he said, I uttered my voice, and then there were the heavens. So if he just uttered his voice and things manifest, that means that these words in his Bible, they're going to manifest because they're his words. And it's going to cut Esau when that day comes. You know?
and that's it on my faith.
You have something?
So what am I 16 and 16?
You already read them. You already read them. Can you give me Psalms 104 and 8? Can you hold it on deck? Can you get Revelation 13?
They go up.
Matter of fact, can you give me Revelation 17? That's easy. Try 108 and 4. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 140 and 8. 140 and 8. Oh, sorry. It's 18. why you keep using that one if you know it's slow? Come on, that's it. But you can hold it on that. Now, what I want to do, I want to get into boy, that was a nice one. 2 Samuel 22 and 31. As for Yahweh, his way is perfect. The word of Yahweh is tried. He is a buckler to all them that trust in him. All right? The word is tried. It's like when you go to trial. You know, they want to try you. Well, hell. Well, I wouldn't say hell, but the Lord, his word is being tried. And can no one find his word to be false? The Lord said, dang. See, he just dropped something. Can you only got, can you give me, matter of fact, I'll get it. Hold it on that. Can you read that one more time, Uncle Sean? Yeah.
This is 2 Samuel 22 and 31. As for Yahweh, his ways is perfect. The word of Yahweh is tried. He is a buckler to all them that trust in him.
Right. So like the Lord's word is, what's up, brother? The Lord's word is being tried. They're going to try us, but we're going to be found innocent. Romans 3 and 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall the unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings. Justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. All day long,
man.
Right, so we're going to be justified in our saying. Why? Because the Lord's word has been tried, and guess what? We're innocent. We're just messengers. Okay? All right, y'all don't really got to. 11 through 13, but not right now. I have an article I want to go into. Hey, did you see the article I did about the cognitive warfare? Right. This is an article from thegrayzone.com. Behind NATO's cognitive warfare, battle for your brain waged by Western militaries. All right, so what they've been doing, they've been using electronic devices to monitor and to alter your thought process. And, I mentioned this on a couple of videos ago. Someone said that social media and TikTok influence people. Kevin Samuels, I heard him say this. He says social media doesn't influence people. Social media are concepts already in the minds of people that they display to the world. Now, what the actual media do, that's ran by the government, they give you concepts that they want you to accept through gradualism, and then they make laws for it, i.e. LGBTQ. Because really, you really didn't hear about trying to have equal rights for the LGBTQ community until all those cases came out around 2010 or 11 about all those Catholic priests that was molesting those children. After those cases came out, then they just started making it a law. Fuck it, they already got us. Fuck it, let's just make it legal now. Come on, man, you know. But they use the media to do that. So, can you read that for me, Bubba Kashab?
This is Psalms 148. Grant not, O Lord, the desire of the wicked.
Grant not the desire of the wicked. Go ahead.
Further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves salad.
It said, further not his wicked device. All right, and what is this wicked device? What is this juice? Really is a wicked device because they got nanotechnology inside of it. I might be talking too much, but hell, we at the end. I ain't got time to be dealing with you. So if you're gonna do whatever, you know, I'm here. I'm talking, I'm doing everything through the spirit, you know. But a lot of what's going on behind the scenes about. At first, they said that the Miley Cyrus was rampant. Now they're trying to say the unvaccinated are the ones that are now the disease, are now the virus. You get what I'm saying? So it's all through propaganda, and they use their media for that. What's a lot of y'all? Bear with me. I'm trying to look for something real quick.
Article.
No, I'm not. Got something? Yes.
Psalms 37:7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way.
Oh, you be ready to bring them precepts out and like just you hold on that. You know, you just ready to, sometimes you still got to edify on one precept. He just brought one out. I told him to hold for a while. As soon as he got done with that, I'm ready to bring another. Let me do this real quick, my brother. Now going back to the article, okay? It says cognitive warfare overlaps with big tech corporations and mass surveillance because it's all about leveraging the big data. This dude's name is Duke Clazel. Explain. We produce data everywhere we go. So in other words, every time you log in, every time you leave a comment, every time you make a transaction, every time you send a text message, every time you send a link, every time you make a call, every time you visit a website, you're constantly transferring data and they're constantly gathering it from you. All right? You got something known as an IP address. They can find out what website you went to, off of what router, off of what tower, off of what IP address, hell, even off of what app, off of what device. Everything's connected. That's why they call it the World Wide Web. It's a web full of all types of connections, man, that you can get caught up in. Every minute, every second we go online. And this is extremely easy to leverage those data in order to better know you and use that knowledge to change the way you think. Okay? So what do you think they're gonna do to use that, man? They're gonna use the MOTB. Right? They want to get your mind. They want to control it. It says, Du Clazel defined cognitive warfare as the art of using technologies to alter the cognition of human targets. In other words, to alter your brain, to alter your knowledge, to alter what you know. That's what they want to do. Those technologies, he noted, incorporate the fields of NBIC, nanotechnology. Now you remember they had those cotton swabs they'll put up people's nose, right? They were doing that so they can hit the blood-brain barrier. On those, I seen the July woman. She had the cotton swab from one of those test kits. She had like a magnet, and you start to see the fibers on it move. But then she took an actual cotton swab that came out of the pack, and nothing happened. So they had nanoparticles on those swabs. So what it was doing, those particles was breaking through the blood-brain barrier, so that it's like they was already pre-programming people with this pandemic. Biotechnology, Sweden, they already got the MOTB. Information technology, everything on all your devices, your web. And cognitive science, the knowledge of what you know, how you think. And that's what they use against us, man.
Come on, brother.
Go ahead, brother. Again, go ahead. No,
You said they had nanotechnology when they was sticking the swab with people's nose.
Yeah, because there was videos online where the Judahite woman had the cotton swab from a test kit. And she had a magnet or something like that, and whenever she ran across the top, you would see the hair start to move, the fibers on the cotton swab move. When she took an actual cotton swab, you know the Q-tip way back in the day, an actual cotton swab and put the magnet there, it didn't move. So there was some kind of electrical current that was there that made it move. So people didn't know that. That's why they was shoving it so far their nose, because it was hitting their blood-brain barrier. So all those small particles in their brain. You get what I'm saying? Because think about it, some people that took the jab, they had seizures and stuff. Seizures mess with your neural system, your nervous system, right? That's what triggered it.
Like we learned from that doctor, she said it got a little robot.
Yeah, she felt it. They felt it in their arm, right? It says cognitive warfare seeks to change not only what people think, but also how they act. So can you imagine somebody that's crippled, right? Because I forgot what the name of the program. Where they put a chip on the back of somebody's cerebrum, on the back of their brain, and someone who's paraplegic, they start to move their fingers. So that chip, it triggers something in the nervous system to where the neurotransmitter use the neurons to send a message to move your finger.
You ever seen that movie called The Kingsman? When everybody was in church and they
Oh
snapped?
yeah. I seen the
That's
scene,
what
but I
that
didn't see the
was.
movie.
That was like
Yeah.
everybody just snapped in church.
Just woke them up. Woke them up.
Everybody want to kill each other in church.
Already pre-programmed, man. And so, cause they want to make everybody a cyborg. Want to be able to control you. So, like I said, not only what they think, but how they act. So, how can you control the way someone acts, but you have to control their mind? Like we were talking last night. You remember there was a time when you had young girls, you had actually beautiful women walking around with half of their side of their head shaved. I'm like, why is they doing that? Because of social media. Well, Odell Beckham had that bleached hair. All these boys was playing basketball in AA and in college with the bleached hair. So they say they already know. We can just tell them what's new and they'll follow it. Doing TikTok challenges, eating Tide Pods and doing the crate challenge. People so easily manipulative. They're like, hell, why not just put something in there when we can control them ourselves? And that's what they're trying to do. Cognitive warfare. You can read that again.
This is Psalms 148. Grant not, O Lord, the desire of the wicked. Further not his wicked device.
Right, his
These that
wicked-
exalt themselves, Salah.
So like his wicked device. When you go into the word device means an evil plan. And that's what they have for everyone. They want to make everyone go and get this MOTV, man. Okay? That's what this pandemic is going to segue into. Right? You read that?
Joel
Yeah,
33
We're going to close out soon.
and 11. He putteth my feet in the stocks. That's the point I want to stress. He marketh all my paths.
Right.
So with those nanobots, those metal materials that are in people, and whatever how they're communicating with them through towers,
Transmitting.
they're gonna know everyone's every move. Complete slavery.
They already know you move because your devices.
This to go.
They just said that. That's why you got idiots out here saying that MOTB is your phone. No, it's not. This is the technology. But you didn't put your phone in your wrist or on your forehead. Come on, man, stop playing.
The MOT was our phone, we through.
Pretty much the MOTB is going to be a processor. You know, like you have the modem. It's the processor that makes it operate. Like you have Intel, Pentium processor and stuff like that. That's what they want to do with your brain. Your brain is a computer. Your brain is a modem, man. You know. So what they want to do, they want to turn everybody to cyborgs, man. But we have faith. Hey, if anybody got any precept they want to bring out, you know, bring it out to the spirit. That's all you had. You got something else? Oh, you want to read it, Psalm 37 and 7?
Psalm 37 and 7.
All right, Psalm 37 and 7, we can close out.
Psalm 37 and 7.
You can give me Baba Bashar. Second, can you give me Second Ezra's chapter 9, verse 21, I think. If I'm mistaken. You can read that.
Psalms 37 and 7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him.
Right. Rest in Yahweh and wait patiently for him. Like we said, we know the who, the what, the where, the how, the why, and the how. We just don't know when. So we just gotta wait patiently in the Lord. Okay? And be a watchman. Matter of fact. Yeah, beautiful. Y'all hold that on deck real quick. So basically that's what faith is. Like, people say that they're gonna get paid in 2 weeks. But hell, some people, they wake up one day and don't have a job. So you had faith that you had a job when you woke up. Come to find out you don't. So we have faith. See, people say, oh, what if faith is blind? What are you talking about? That's stupid to have faith. Well, your ass think you're gonna get paid every 2 weeks. So you got faith, you believe, you hoping that you're gonna get paid. Right? So that's the same thing with waiting on Yahweh. We hoping and we have faith that we're gonna get compensated for our works. Okay?
When you go into the word wait, when you go into the word rest, it is hold peace, quiet self, rest, be silent. You know, stand still.
You shall hold that peace and the Lord shall fight for you. Right.
Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way.
Oh, don't forget Revelation 13 too, when the Lord said, he that have an ear, let him hear. He that leads to captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with a sword must be killed with a sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So it's a lot of suffering, man. Through much tribulation shall you enter to the kingdom of heaven. It's no cakewalk, you know? Like, it's a reason why you have disciplinary actions. That's an act of love. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. He said, all those that hate me love death. I mean, every president gets inaugurated on the Bible, but they don't hold none of the statutes and judgments. And look at the world today, the society. There's no village. Everybody's independent. You can live in the suburbs, but what do you have in common with everyone as a collective, as a human species? It's not like that, because this is Babylon. It's just confusion. You know. So we patiently waiting for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness.
If I may, real quick,
Did you finish up?
it says Psalms 37:7. It says, "Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass."
Right. Because the Lord said he set a boundary he cannot pass. He shall not be able to fulfill his enterprise, man. But, and off of that, now you can go ahead with what you want to get.
Because it said, it's not going to be a cakewalk. 2 Ezra 7:18. "Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, and hope for the wise."
The righteous shall what?
Suffer
Straight things, yeah, hard things, right. But,
and hope for why? For
and hope for what? And hope for, okay.
For they that have done wickedly shall suffer the straight things, and yet shall not see the why.
Okay, break that down.
So the part is, nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things. So we're suffering for good things, though. We're not going along with the program. You know, we're gonna lose everything, but to gain everything. You know, so it's worthy to suffer for the Lord. Easier said than done, but that's the plan, to remain faithful all the way to the end.
That reminds me of my seafood. You know, my seafood, my instructor. You can feel it, like when we're doing our sequences and our movements. When I block him, I can feel the callus in his forearms. I can feel like if this man really punched me, he will do damage with one punch. I can feel when he pulls me, when he trapping me. I can feel all of that. But that goes through all of the attrition, all of the hard work, all of the gruesome training that he had to endure and go through by being up under his seafood. When you watch them kung fu movies and they be like having them, holding them buckets and hitting them with the stick and all that, I understand that's a little over exaggerating, but that's how they really did train, and that's how the Shaolin monks train to this day. That's how Sifu's built. He's built for war. Anytime he may need it, he gonna do it. That's what we're going through. We're suffering straightly so that when hard times come, we already know how to respond to it. We already know how to deal with it. Like I said, Jake always been poor. Jake is not committing suicide if he loses his job and everything. Esau would do something like that, But to back you up about suffering, what had you get that?
2 Ezra 9:21.
Okay, hold on real quick. You read it one more time?
2 Ezra 7:18. "Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, and hope for why? For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the why."
This is 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 12. "For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. And who is he that will harm you if ye be followers of that which is good?" So what evil can come to you if you do that which is good? Why you think Cain and Abel? Abel did what the Lord told him to do, but Cain did what he thought was right. That's why the scripture says, "Lean not unto thy own understanding." And the Lord marked him with what? Leprosy. Okay? Verse 14. "But if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled." And the prime example of that is Acts 5. When they say, "Did we not straightly tell you not to preach in his name. And what Peter said, we are to obey God rather than men. This is Peter speaking too. And what happened? They got buffeted, they got beat, but they rejoiced in it. They rejoiced in it, you know. I just want to bring that out. You can close out with that.
Second Esdras, chapter 9, verse 21. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of the great people.
Right. The Lord kept him a grape of the cluster of a great people. Who's the great people? Israel. He's going to keep a remnant of Israel. All right. The Lord always brought out a small portion when it came to the salvation. Noah and his family, he saved 8 people. You know, out of Sodom and Gomorrah, who did he save? Lot. Wife didn't make it, but his 2 daughters. Okay. All of Egypt, we all came out of Egypt, but only 2 from that generation went in. I think that was Joshua and Aaron. Okay? So, the Lord always had a small portion that he saved. Hell, even the Lord always used a small portion to defeat the enemy in the vast number. Right? Good up.
Verse 22. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain.
Right. Let the multitude perish then that is born in vain. That's why I said the slain of the Lord shall be many. Okay? Only 8 people got saved, but there was a flood that flooded out everybody else. You know what I'm saying? It's almost 8 billion people on earth. He said he's going to save 144,000, and he also going to save 1/3. That's a very small portion out of 8 billion people.
That's that drop from the wave.
Thank you, brother. You already know. So what should we do, knowing that the evils to come? To constantly always be in holy conversation, man. And all holy conversation is what we're supposed to be in. Okay? Brother, got anything in particular?
Can you finish it off?
Yeah, if you want. Salaki.
Let my grape be kept, and my plant for with great labor have I made it perfect.
And with great labor have you made it perfect. Woo! I think it's Philippians 4. Because right now, this is the perfecting of the saints. And he said he kept a grape of the cluster to make it perfect. And remember what he said? He said, be ye perfect as my Father in heaven is imperfect. And it says the words of the Lord is perfect too. What's that, 12? I forgot exactly what it was, but it said the perfecting of the saints. I know it's not Ephesians, right? But the perfecting of the saints goes into us right now rehearsing the righteous acts. So that when the Lord, you got it, brother?
Yeah.
What?
Ephesians 4:12.
It was Ephesians 4 as well?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
Salaki. Oh, I thought about Ephesians 6 and 12. Okay. Go ahead, brother.
This is Ephesians 4:12. For the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the
Start
ministry.
up one. Over the shop.
This is Ephesians 4:12. Let's say slide up
Start
one.
over.
So like, it's Ephesians 4:11. And he gave some apostles and some prophets.
Right, apostles first, sent forth. And you have prophets, go ahead out.
And the everlasting, and some pastors and teachers.
Right, and some teachers as well. You got brothers that make videos too. Brother Nadab girded up, just started doing his too. Beautiful. Right?
Verse 12. For the perfecting of the saints.
For the perfecting of the saints. So, if you're dining out, if you're on the phone with somebody, you're like, yeah, I'm dining out. That means you're in the process of doing it. If you're saying you're eating, you mean you're in the process of doing it. The Lord said this is the perfecting of the saints. So we're in the process of becoming perfect. Okay? Go ahead up.
Verse 12. For the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry.
For the work of the ministry. So through this ministry are we made perfect. Through the work of the ministry are we made perfect. By the washing of the water of the word, how shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed to the word. Okay?
Move on. For the edifying of the body of Yahweh Shah
For
Mashiach.
the edifying, for the building of the body of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. To build each other up in the spirit. Comforting one another with his words.
When it says by this ministry will be pure, make perfect. 1 Peter 1:22, seeing ye have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the Spirit unto unfeigned love of the brethren, so that ye love one another with a pure heart fervently. So the point is purifying your souls by obeying the truth. And how the apostles were here first, he taught us how and what to obey and what not to do.
Yep, by the perfecting, us being purified. The house shall blood is what really makes us perfect, but you still gotta do the work, because you can't just say, okay, you have this inheritance, so you set. But if you don't make any investments, what's good is the inheritance, especially if you got inflation. So it's like, okay, we got the Holy Spirit, we got the wisdom, but if we're not applying it, what's the point of us having it? The Lord is gonna give it to somebody else. It's kind of like I should have never put this son in my will, because he's not investing the money. I should have put this son. That's what the Lord will do with the Holy Spirit. You know, that was a beautiful precept, man. All right, you got anything else?
That's it.
Wanna close out?
That we would like to give all praises to Yahweh.
Howard, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Chakwadash.
Double honors to our apostle, Great Millstone.
Right.
And the water for you brothers out there teaching the truth. And DTA.
DTA, Milwaukee Level Ball.
DTA.